Well, hey, Trading Center, Mike here, and with love in the air and everyone scrambling to couple up this week, it got me thinking how we improvisers are often just coupling up over and over again in scenes with our scene partners, and that got me thinking, what makes a good scene partner? Well, obvious answers is a good scene partner is anyone willing to jump in and start supporting their scene partner's idea as though they are the best ideas in the world, regardless of what they may actually think about them. They're going to lift those up, kind of like my niece the other day who helped her uncle make just the perfect joke because she's turning 4 this year and I'm turning 40, and the joke could only be made once, and who cares that it was her birthday party? She understood that our uncle needed the support in this moment. I'd also say that our level 1 students are coming to understand that good scene work is built around discovering relationships. And our level 2 students are starting to learn that being a good scene partner is starting to understand the dynamics of when you need to let this other character have a bit more space than your own. With all that said, is there anyone I know who exemplifies the dynamics of being a good scene partner and finding relationships on stage superbly? Hello, Morgan
Hello.
Morris. How
I'm
in the
Mike
world?
Garvin.
How are you?
Doing great. How are you doing?
Well, I'm doing fantastic now that you are here. Thank you for taking time out of your day to talk with me because I was just thinking all week I've been thinking about what makes a good scene partner. And then immediately it kind of comes to mind, you came to mind because having watched you over these past couple years, good scene partners are really good at like sort of finding their role and their character and defining that for themselves, and then leaving space for others and knowing how to bring people in and leave that space for others at the same time that they're defining their character. And you balance those things just so well that I thought maybe that's, yeah. Do you care to speak as to why you're so good at that?
Oh gosh, well, thank you so much for the compliment. I really appreciate that a lot. And
Hmm.
yeah, I think a lot of it for me, I really enjoy, I feel like improv is a little bit of a trust exercise,
Yeah,
perpetually, where we're encouraged to trust ourselves, but we're also encouraged to trust others. And I think that's a really big part of being a great scene partner, and encouraging your teammates to be a great scene partner is just trusting each other, trusting yourself, and finding the fun together.
absolutely. Oh, I see you do that over and over again on stage. And speaking of being on stage, which you are just so often now, did you go through the training center here at
I
Third
did.
Coast?
Yes, I went
Absolutely.
through all 6 levels of the training center and then also went through the 3 levels of musical improv as well too.
Oh my goodness. And had you done much improv before washing ashore Third Coast?
Not a lot of improv, a lot of
Yeah.
performing, did theater, musical theater, a lot of those types of things, and had always been interested in comedy from some emceeing and things like that I had done previously, and had always been interested and found Third Coast, and I'm grateful every day that I did.
So from your mindset where you were when you started taking the first class or level 1, did you think that a little while from then your Friday nights would be taken up by so much improv?
I had hoped,
Yeah.
so fingers crossed.
Yeah.
But I didn't know if that would pan out that way, but I'm really grateful that it has. I remember my very first jam after my level 1 class,
Yeah.
and I was wonderfully one of the people that was selected from the bucket to perform in the long form set
Yes.
in the jam.
Yeah.
And I remember being absolutely terrified, but also having an absolute blast. And that was kind of one of those moments that really solidified that for me of
Yes,
this is
terror and elation at the same time is pretty much improv in a nutshell. That's
absolutely,
that's what keeps us
absolutely.
coming back. Yeah.
Absolutely. And so was really grateful for that. And that was a great moment where I got to have some awesome scene partners.
Yeah.
And that really encouraged me to want to continue and been doing it ever since.
Yeah. Okay. Well, speaking of doing it ever since, and
Mhm.
also how I know you are such an exemplary scene partner is because apparently so many shows are just demanding that you be in those shows with them. And so coming up on this Friday night, I believe you are in back-to-back shows happening on our
Right.
Valentine's Day schedule. First being, I believe, Improvised Murder Mystery. Is that right?
Yes, Friday at 7 o'clock, improvised murder mystery.
It's kind of there in the title, but again, it's so every time we do this show, there's a new murder mystery that we're looking to solve. There's a cast of
Correct.
kooky characters, and we're going to
Right.
figure out, yeah,
Right. And it's different every time.
different every
The
time.
cast doesn't know who's going to be the murderer. One person finds out in that opening scene, and we're working alongside the audience to figure out who did it. It's a
Very
lot of
good.
fun and excited for another show this weekend.
So I would say, as an improviser in that particular show, or in all shows, you got to do a lot of paying attention as an improviser, I imagine.
Absolutely.
Very good.
Absolutely. Listening is always key in improv, but especially in a show like that,
Yeah,
where there are a lot of details that can make or break someone's storyline, someone's
yeah.
motives, someone's defense. And so we get to listen well and encourage the audience to do the same alongside us.
Best support you can do. You gotta keep that information in place. Very good.
Absolutely.
Listen, and then it may be a little more thematically for the evening, the Valentine's Day
Mhm.
evening. We have a date night movie by the Improvised movie cast, which you are a part of,
That's right.
and I believe that by a date night movie we mean very like Jane Austen style date
Yes.
night movie.
That's right. Friday at 9, Improvised Movies doing our Regency era romance
Ooh,
movie. So very excited for that.
all
We've
right.
had an absolute blast watching movies over the last several weeks to prepare
A lot of
and
Colin Firth
practicing.
longingly
Yes.
staring off into the
Yes.
distance.
Lots of
Yes.
smolder from Colin
Lots of
Firth that we've
smaller.
been studying.
What is he thinking? And we want to know. We just want to know what he's
That's right.
thinking.
That's
Yeah.
right. And
Says
we'll see
nothing.
what our cast is thinking and feeling this Friday night too.
Absolutely. Well, I have one last thing to say, which is I feel like a friend right now saying, you need to be careful. Do you think that your two dates for the evening are going to find out about each other? Do you-
I mean, we'll just have to see. People will have to
okay.
come to both shows and see how it
Okay. All
unfolds.
right. Well, you're juggling a lot, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's a high wire act. Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
We'll
It'll be
try
a
to
lot
make
of
sure the
fun.
two casts don't run into
That's
one
right.
another.
That's right.
Morgan, thank you so much for joining me this morning, and yeah, we look forward to seeing those shows this weekend.
I'm looking forward to it. See you all Friday night.
All right. Bye,
Thanks
Morgan.
so much.